Hi everyone, this is Laylee, and today I'm going to go over creating hotkeys or hot buttons for your montage. So we have here the montage that we created in the last video. Nothing is going on, it's a weekend, so we're just going to go ahead and set up our hot buttons in order to be ready for Monday morning. So the first thing that you have to do is right click on your chart, click on configure, and you will see that here there's a double click to trade. I need this to be enabled, and the reason is that the way that I'm going to set up my hotkeys is where I double click on something that's going to be my stop, or if I want to change my stop, I'm going to double click on it. So I need this to be checked, and make sure that depending on, you might be using either of these, so I will have it enabled on all the charts that I use. I think this one, I already have it, and I will also put it for my daily chart. So this is the first step. Then you will come here in your montage, and you have to change the configuration to add the hotkey sections or hot button sections. So right click, layout config, and you can see that I have level 1, which is this section at the top. Then I have level 2, which is this blank section. I'm not seeing anything because the market is closed. Then I have the trade. This is where I can take a trade. And then a hot button. So I'm going to click on hot button, move it here, and I'm going to move it up so it's under my level 2. Click OK. So you can see that it already has a few hot buttons set up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a few additional hotkeys. The hotkeys that I'm using, again, from BBT chat room, Kyle created a bunch of hotkeys. He's great, and I'm using actually his hotkeys. So all the credit goes to Kyle at Babe Traders. I will go ahead and add a few. So I like to trade with a fixed risks amount, meaning that for every trade I would like to, for example, risk $50. Instead of manually calculating how many shares I need to buy or short, I would specify what is going to be my stop order. So I would click here, and that's why you have to have that double click to trade set up. So I would double click in the place, and you can see that it's going to bring the price here. And then I would press my hot button that would say buy with $50 risk. So what does that mean? It means that it's going to calculate and say how many shares it would need in order to only risk $50. So this is how I trade, because I like to go into trades with a fixed risk. There are other hotkeys that you can create, whether you have a fixed share, always buy 100 shares, which wouldn't make sense because 100 shares of a penny stock is completely different with 100 shares of Tesla, for example. Some people like to trade with a percentage of buying power, 20% of their buying power, 10% of the buying power, but the hotkeys that I'm going to go over today are going to be based on fixed amount. So in order to add another hotkey, you will come here, right click, you'll add a new row, and you have to specify how many buttons you want to have in the row. So I'm going to add 4 buttons, and the way that I'm going to do it is going to be 2 long, 2 short, say $50 and $100 shares. So these are my 4 buttons. I'm going to start with the first one, right click, edit. So I'm going to say long, $50 risk. I'm going to go ahead and change the back color. For long, I like to put green. For short, I like to put red, of course. So let's do green. Okay, and then there's a script. So for the script, again, as I said, I'm using Kyle's hotkey. So paste it here. The only thing that you have to change is, let me go find it. There's a place that you would specify. So here, the shares is going to be 40 divided by price. This is going to be your risk. So if I want $50, I would change that to 50. That's the only place that you need to change depending on how much risk you want to have per trade. The rest, just leave it as is. He knows what he did, so I completely trust him. So click OK. This is what I have. The next one, I'm gonna have long, $100 risk. Let's change that green. I'm gonna paste, and here instead of that 40, I'm going to put 100. Let me change the font a little bit. So I like to use Cambria. These are, again, however that you want to go with it. Let's see. Now I'm going to add my short button. So I'm going to do short, $50 risk, and I am going to copy the hotkey for short and change this 40 to 50. Let's do red. And then I'm going to do one for $100. So short, $100 risk. Save this and 100. Okay. Now I'm going to add hot buttons to cover. So cover and buy. So I'm going to add another row, and I'm going to add, let's add 3. So I'm going to add the hot buttons to cover. So I'm first going to do the half, cover half. So edit, paste it here, cover half. So you can see that again, to change this, the only thing that you have to do is this share size, which is equal to position times 0.5, means half of it. For cover, again, I like to, because in cover you are buying, so I like to put green. Now I'm gonna have this to cover 1/3. I'm gonna change that to 0.33. And the last one, I'm going to cover all, so I'm just going to get rid of this. So my share size is going to be my position. Cover all. I'm going to add another row, which is selling my position. So right click, add a new row, 3 buttons. Okay. So I'm going to edit the first one. The only thing, there are a few things that you have to change. One of them is this now is going to be your bid minus 0.1, and this one is have to be sell. And let's do the positions, 33. So I'm going to sell 1/3, sell, I put red, right click, edit. Okay, let me see. Let me go back here and copy this, it's easier. So I'm going to sell half. So this one, 0.33 is going to be 0.5. And the last one, I'm going to sell all. So sell all. And yes, this, I'm just going to get rid of it because my share size is going to be my position. Okay. I'm going to get rid of these. So let's right click, and I'm going to delete the whole row. Yes. Right click, delete row. Yes. So I have my long and short with $50 and $100 risk. I have my covers, I have my sells, and what I'm going to add is another hotkey that I really like is, again, with my trading, when I take my first partial, I bring my stop loss to break even, meaning that if it gets to my break even point, I'm out of that. Of course, yours might be different, but let's go ahead and add that. So I'm going to add row. I like to put only one here, and right click, edit. It's going to be stop, break even. I would like to put the color different. Let's put blue, and let me get the script. Okay, so this is my stop, break even. There are two other hot buttons that I really like. One of them is if I want to change my stop, meaning that I went in with my fixed risk, a specific, say that this is my original entry for my stop. So I double clicked, I went in, bought, I don't know, $50 worth of risk on Apple. It's moving up. And as it moves up, I want to move my stop up, meaning that it has went far away from my break even. And I want to say, for example, if it loses the 9 EMA, I want to get out. So I will come double click on where I want my new stop to be, and I'm going to click on that hot button. So right click, let's add another row. I'm going to have two. One of them is going to be for my new stop for when I'm long, and another one is going to be my new stop when I'm short. So let's go ahead and edit this, stop, long update. Let me get the script. Okay, and let me change this. Again, you can have different colors. Let's do pink for now. And then right click, edit. I'm gonna have a stop, short, update, and let me paste the script, change it purple, click OK. So these are the hotkeys that I have. Of course, once you have it, the first thing that you're going to do is test it. When you're testing it, make sure that you test it with your simulator account, not with your live account. So the way that it would work, of course, market is closed, but you can come here, double click, and then say long $50. Again, it has been rejected because the market is closed. So if you create these, the first thing that you want to do before market, when you get up in the morning, test these, make sure that they work. When you add an order, you have to see your stop in the orders tab. When you update again your order, your break even, everything has to be here. So test it, whatever risk that you want. If you're just starting, small risk, that's the winner. You never want to go big. Start with $20 risk and then move your way up as you see consistency in your trading. The other way of having it, if you don't want to use the hotkeys, is just going here and directly putting the shares. So you can put how many shares you want. You want to buy it. If you want to use the limit order, you have to put a price. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was helpful. Hot buttons, I find it so much easier, especially if you go with a fixed risk amount. It's going to be very helpful. Again, I take no credit in these hot buttons and hotkeys. They were created by Kyle at Bearable Trader. I have been using them for years and they are amazing. Of course, you can change them around however you want, but I think these are a good start with your DOS, and you can of course make changes as you go. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I will be adding more educational videos to this channel, and keep it green.